got your stream on?
Yep, stream's up.
Can they hear me?
They can hear you.
So I can't say stupid shit.
Yeah, you cannot say stupid shit. Alright, Super Mario World. Let's do this.
Wait, I'm Luigi?
You're always Luigi. Alright. Let's do it! Isn't this the game that you played for like 6 months in the hospital?
Yeah, when my leg thing happened, there was this game and Turtles in Time.
How long were you in the hospital for when you were a kid?
Dude, I don't even remember. It felt like forever. It felt like years. I was in the hospital for like 6 months, I think.
Are you sure
I don't even remember why.
You got a one of those like booster shots, and something happened. You must have been allergic to it or something.
I just remember playing with you in the living room, and I blacked out, and then I woke up in the hospital.
I don't remember that at all.
How do you remember it going down?
I remember that you were like, you got the shot and it hurt you a lot, and then you came home and the doctors were like, well, you know, some people react to them differently and whatnot, you know, the technical I didn't do it jargon. And like, I don't know if it was like the next day or like a few days later, but you had like excruciating pain in your leg, and like you couldn't even be touched. That's how bad it was. You took you to the hospital and you were screaming, and they flighted you straight to Bangor.
They life flighted me?
Yeah. They sent you on a helicopter.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, you went by helicopter.
Are you sure that I was conscious?
I don't know if you were like actively aware of what was happening because of how much pain you were in, but you were like, they tried to move you to a gurney with the blanket, and you were screaming in pain because it just having somebody touch your skin or move your body in any way hurt you so bad. I'm sure Mom was.
I do remember that.
Horrified.
I remember how excruciating that pain was. It was awful. It was the worst thing I ever went through in my life.
I had no idea what was happening. Like, me being a kid, all I knew was my brother was going away, and I had no idea what was when he was coming back.
You were worried about me for once.
I've always been worried about you, you little shit.
Yeah, I remember that was bad, man. And I also remember that for years after that, like 4, 5, 6, 7 years, like once a year, it would just be a random day of the year, I would wake up and my leg would kind of be like that, but like nowhere near as bad. But it was so bad that I couldn't go to school. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah.
There would just be days where I just like, it's like it happened again, kind of thing.
Yeah, your leg was swollen up like there was a big old egg welt on it.
Yeah, I still don't know what happened. It was weird.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you had an allergic reaction to something in that that shot that they gave you.
Which doesn't make sense because I'm not allergic to anything.
And it's highly like unlikely that you would have got, been allergic to a vaccine.
Yeah,
But
it's not normal.
I don't know if maybe there was a live egg in one of them or something, and there shouldn't have been, or like there was something about it that something was wrong with it. And mom had an opportunity to sue the fucking hospital, and she didn't even do that. She was she was way more concerned with your well-being than
I probably would be rich right now.
But it was definitely something that some negligence had happened there.
I do remember, I don't know, man, I remember very little about that. I remember meeting this girl, and you guys were kidding around with me, like, oh, you met a girl, like, is that your girlfriend? She was, like, in a wheelchair, she's the same age as me, and she had been there for a while.
Yeah.
I remember you coming to visit and playing Super Nintendo with me. I also remember, like, being half drugged half the time. I would, like, see a nurse come in, but I'd be, like, really drugged, and then she would, like, walk in with a bunch of needles. And then she would leave with, like, blood on them. And I just, like, didn't feel any of it. And I was like, Jesus.
Well, there was blood on it because, you were getting blood. They were taking blood. They were doing all kinds of stuff because they were running tests forever to find out what the hell happened to you. And in the end, I'd have to ask Mom, but in the end, I don't think they really knew.
I don't think anyone ever found out what it actually was.
I think the only thing that they were really capable of doing is just keeping you alive.
Well, whatever it is, it seemed to work its course.
My God, like, that was nuts, dude. You must have had like a wicked like fever. Like you probably had like a super infectious like disease from whatever they stuck you with that was to prevent that disease. I think it was an MMR shot, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a booster shot. That's all it was a booster.
Yeah, but what is a booster?
I wonder if it'd be in your record at Tamek.
It would have to be, right?
Well, that's if you could get your record from them. I mean, they'd have to keep it, right?
I'm sure I could look into it.
I would be curious to know what happened, because that was insane.
That was insane, and, I hope if I ever have kids, hopefully nothing very similar ever happens, because if it doesn't, I feel really bad,
Yeah, no one should have to go through that.
I would have known exactly what they're going through, and I would have also felt bad that I let it happen again.
Yeah. All I remember is I visited you, and these arcade cabinets that had Super Nintendos in it were getting wheeled around, and I'm like, thinking to myself, like, I would hate to be in your shoes, but damn, dude, you got fucking Super Nintendo, and this is at the time. This is at the time we didn't have a Super Nintendo at home, so I was like, wow, like, this is awesome.
Dude, I don't know why they treated me like royalty. I feel like maybe a lot of the people in that hospital that were staff felt bad, because...
Well, you were also in the children's wing because you were just a kid, when you're in the children's wing in a hospital, those people most of them do take good care of the kids because they know they're in a position where it's really scary, and they try to make them feel as comfortable as possible.
They were treating me like royalty, like, you want Ninja Turtles, Super Nintendo? I was like,
Yes, please. I would love a Nintendo.
Yeah, that was a crazy time in my life. I kind of wish I remembered more of it, but I'm kind of glad that I don't.
Yeah.
I can just somewhat recollect how excruciating the pain was. It was as if someone was taking, like, a railroad spike and, like, pounding it Mark Henry style into my fucking... into my friggin' leg and my crotch and my friggin' hamstring, all that stuff.
And you attribute that situation to why you do this weird thing with your leg where you wake up in the morning and you put one out straight and you grab the inside of your heel, like the sole of your foot, with the other foot, and you just rub it up and down your leg. And then you you switch legs. You do that with your other foot, where you stretch it out and then you just rub your other leg.
Every day that I wake up, my leg's partially stiff, and it's always been like that.
I have never seen another human being in my life get out of bed the way you do.
Well, it's it's one of those things.
It'd be akin to me stretching out my arms and rubbing my hand up and down my arm like this for like 2 or 3, 4 times, and then doing the other side, but with my feet. It's definitely strange.
Well, at least it's just one of those things that, like, I'm unique.
Oh. Could be worse.
Yeah, I could have light toes to my right leg.
Yeah, you could be like Dr. House. Have you seen that show?
House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how his leg's all messed up?
Yeah.
Could be that way. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna give you one of my USB Nintendo 64 controllers.
Cool.
I've got like 3 or 4 of them. And I'm only gonna use one. Get out of there.
Yeah, I remember playing a lot of Super Nintendo when I was in there, though.
That was like I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was just looking at you and kind of a little bit in horror, like, what's wrong with him? Like, I think you have to hit start.
I can't imagine what it was like from your perspective. I never thought all these years about what it was like from your perspective, but it's basically like you see your little brother like screaming bloody murder for 6 months straight. Must have been some scary shit.
When I first got to visit you, you were like smiles and teeing, because I'm sure I didn't see you till like way later, and this was at the point you were like trying to show me all the cool stuff that you were doing.
And I was like, hey, check it out, Super Nintendo.
Pretty much, you know? And the nurses were all talking you up like you should check him out because he's a really tough kid and this and that. Aw, shit. Yeah, they're talking you up. What a big, brave, strong kid you are. Taking these shots like it's nothing. And I couldn't be anywhere near watching you get stuck because it just gave me the willies.
You're still afraid of shots?
I don't like shots. I can handle a shot. Like, if I had to have a shot right now, I could easily just get one. I'd hate it, but it's no big deal. I
remember you used to be the one to scream bloody murder during a shot. You'd stick your arm back in the friggin'...
I was fucking mortified, dude. You can
petrified with shots, dude, on a whole nother level.
Do you know why though, right?
Nah, I just figured you were always just like...
Just a pussy?
Not really just a pussy, but like you had some kind of a fear complex.
So let me tell you why. Do you remember when we lived in Mapleton?
Very, like,
Not much,
barely.
right? So we lived with some guy that Mom was with at the time.
Ryan.
Yeah, and he had a garage, and the walls were sheathed with OSB, which is not uncommon. And if you're not familiar with the term OSB, it's essentially just that chipboard where there's all kinds of wood chips that are pressed and glued together to make a piece of plywood almost. And I thought it was a great idea that I would sit inside, because there was a chair right there, and I would put on my rollerblades, and then I would just kind of walk down the stairs in the garage, and then I wouldn't have to really be uncomfortable putting rollerblades on the ground. So I proceeded to walk down the stairs with rollerblades, and I've got my hand flat against the side of the wall. And then, as you would expect, it was a bad idea to do this, and my rollerblades went out from underneath me. My hand slid right across the OSB sheathing, and then I got like a big old wood chip in between my thumbnail and my thumb, like it was inside underneath my nail, like really deep. And it hurt really bad. So I pulled this chip out, but you could see almost like a thing at near the little white part of my cuticle or whatever. But you know, you got like that little moon on your thumb.
Yeah.
Like that's how far down this little, what looked like a little wood chip was. So of course, Mom took me to the hospital. We get to the hospital. They're like, well, we gotta separate the nail from the skin, and then dig out whatever's in there with tweezers. And in order to do that, they had to freeze my thumb. And when they froze my thumb, they had to put 3 shots right in the little corner between my thumb and my forefinger. And of course, like, they had to hold me down. 3 dudes held me down while they stuck me. And you know, like, it felt to me at the time, and it may not look like it, but it felt to me at the time very much like it looked like when people are in a mental ward in a movie, where these big burly looking nurses would come in and just hold people down while they get shots. That, for me, being just a young kid, I mean, I was only in like, what, 2nd or 3rd grade, like, dude, that traumatized me. And ever since,
I remember that, actually, now that you're talking about it. I remember being there when they were giving the shots for your thumb.
yeah, and on top of the fact that I was being held down, begging them to stop hurting me, the fucking shots hurt. And then, you know, the rest of it wasn't too bad, you know, because my thumb and my whole friggin' hand was numb. But, like, it sucked, dude. Like, it was more traumatic than painful. But the fact that it was traumatizing at the time, you know, and the fact that there was pain because the lidocaine hurts. Oh, fuck, I can't get the blue shell.
I'm sure everybody's got a medical thing that they've dealt with in their life that scares the shit out of them.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. Even today when I go into a hospital, like, I'm just now getting to the point where it's not me going in for me. Like, I'm just now able to not be so, like, blood pressure up about it.
I don't like hospitals.
Nah, I hate going to hospitals.
I went to go get my blood drawn last year, before I started taking my, like, Central, my blood pressure med. And I went under, man. I fainted during them taking blood.
You fainted?
And that's never ever happened to me before. And I wasn't nervous about giving blood either. It was really weird. Like, I was actually pretty okay about it. I sat in the chair. I had fasted a lot, and
that's why you fainted.
I think the last time I had eaten was 5 p.m. the day before, and it was like 9 something, or like 9:30 in the morning. I was getting my blood drawn.
Yep.
But yeah, they go to draw my blood, and like I'm watching it go in the tube, like I always do. I just like that's what I always do. I just watch the blood go in the tube. Yeah, and then I started to feel like really lightheaded, and then like I don't really recollect 100% what happened after that. And the nurse was like, "Yeah, you fainted on me." She was like, "Your lips went blue."
You probably didn't have like a lot of blood in your system, so it just kind of took you.
They were like, "Have you ever fainted before? Like, give me blood." And I was like, "No." They're like, "Well, when was the last time you ate?" And I was like, 5 yesterday. And they're like, "Oh, well." They're like, "Well, you didn't, like, you could have eaten, like, before you went to bed or something."
That sound like if I fainted at the doctor's like that, I would freak out because when I woke up, I'd be like, "What did you stick me with while I was out?"
I mean, I was concerned. I was like, "Is this ever gonna happen again?" I was like, "Because I've had cholesterol tests when I was 13, where they had to take 4 vials of blood, and I was like, I've had a lot of booster shots, and I've never fainted before." And they were like, "I don't know." But now I'm nervous that the next time I go to get my blood drawn, it's gonna happen again.
I wouldn't get too nervous about it.
I should have had my blood drawn already, but I lost my job, so...
Yeah, doesn't that suck? There just aren't a lot of good jobs out there right now. Like, if it wasn't a pandemic and everything being really dumb like it is right now, I feel like there would be a bunch of other jobs that are really good. But because there's not, it makes it really difficult to find a job, which is why I can't stand the idea that they're allowing special privileges to those who were directly affected by like losing their job because of like COVID reasons. Because those of us who lost their job because corporations are evil, like me, where they decided that it would be better for their company to outsource an entire division by, you know, selling them off to the cheapest, the cheapest bidder. You know, we get screwed, and we're still in the same exact boat as anybody who got affected from COVID directly. You know,
Yeah.
You know, it's not like somehow we're better off than those affected because they got laid off because of a COVID reason. Their job decided to fold. No, we're in exactly the same boat, which I was kind of a little upset about this morning when I found out that you don't get that extra benefit if you aren't directly affected by it. In a place like Lowe's,
I'm definitely gonna call unemployment tomorrow and just pose the question to them. I mean, even though I answered, I'm sure they can go in and change things on their computer if it needs to be changed. But like, I'm gonna ask them like, "Hey, I noticed one of the questions on that form was like something about your office being closed."
Shit.
Like, I'm gonna pose it to them like, because my office was closed, it was a lot harder for me to do my job, and I was ended up being let go due to low performance. But that's because I couldn't be in the office and do certain things anymore. I wonder if I pose it like that, if they would be willing to.
I doubt it. I don't think so. I think it's gotta actually say, you know, in your termination paperwork that, you know, you let go due to COVID, you know. And that's stupid. I think if you're let go during the pandemic, you know, that should be the same exact treatment as someone who got let go during the pandemic because their job closed down. You know, it's the same exact thing. It's just how you word it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
just because the company didn't want to say it was because of COVID doesn't mean that you're not affected by it during the same epidemic that everyone else is. I don't know. Helped a little bit, but it's just still very, very hard.
Me and this Yoshi have been together for like 4 zones.
Don't get attached.
I'm never letting this little guy go.
Don't get too attached.
I'm gonna have this guy to the end. He's my ride or die.
Oh man, I think you're better at this one than I am. 'Cause I didn't really grow up on it. Are you kidding me?
I just played it for like 8 months and I'm fucking off.
Yeah. What happens when you almost die?
My Yoshi! I don't get him back?
You get him back at the end of the level. He's waiting for you.
That's not cool.
You can jump through the chains. Yeah, you can't use. I don't think you can use Yoshi inside castles or forts. This is technically a fort.
That's not cool.
Actually, this might be a castle. I don't remember.
This is a castle.
So much concentration. Nice use of cape. Don't run out of time, dude. Unlimited time and power. I'll take you to the dark side. You could fly up that center if you really tried. Oh, it would be pointless though. Dude, when I was a kid, I thought that Mario with a cape was super cool. I was like, dude, he's like a superhero now. He's got a cape.
If you ever go and you look back at how the game originally looked before the last second changes.
Oh yeah, it was way different.
There's actually Super Nintendo sprites that have the old school like Mario raccoons in the third one.
Yeah, I saw that. That was super awesome. Man, Morton's such a bitch in this one. Like, I think the Koopa kids are way harder in Mario 3. like I'll give this Mario some credit for being, you know, super innovative and you know, looked really, really cool. But I don't think the gameplay is as awesome as Mario 3.
It's funny that you say that because growing up, whenever you would get to play this, you always thought this game was like the best thing ever.
Well, that's because I didn't play it, and I had been playing Mario 3 for friggin' ever at the time. If you like my content, please consider giving it a like. If you want to see more, make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell notification so you don't miss out.